I'm going to go over the top 3 things you need to know if you're looking to scale and make money on Google Ads. So, number one is going to be what drives success with Google. Now, Google's a little bit different than other platforms like Facebook and Instagram if you've advertised there before. When it comes to Facebook, the offer and the creative is what's going to pull the most weight when it comes to success. And then the platform itself is going to really drill in the audience for you. Where Google, the actual copy and what's going on the Google side will have weight, but it's nowhere near how important the actual build of the strategy you're using, and then also the types of keywords that you're targeting matter when it comes to the actual success. So when it comes to Google Ads, you really need to put your focus on specific audiences you're targeting. If that's going to be on the search side, it's going to be the keywords you're going after. We always recommend drilling in your PPC strategy first before getting into something like YouTube, where it goes into, let's say, like in-market or interest-based type audiences, because you want to see if you can have the success on PPC, which is very fixed intent, before going into broad audience. So that's going to be number one, really understanding what you want to start with and what you need to put the most intention onto. Like I said, copy and content matters, but nowhere near as much what traffic you're actually going after, and then the approach of strategy of the actual build of the campaigns they're using to target that traffic. Number two is going to be the campaigns that are most likely to get you success in the front end. So when we launch a new client account, there's almost always 3 main campaign types that we launch to drill in success in the foundation of the new account. Number one is going to be the PMAX campaign. Now, PMAX is Google's algorithm-based campaign. It's going to go after search, display, YouTube. It's really taking all types of formats when it comes to the creatives, and it's rotating through those based off of audiences internally within that campaign to do the hard work for you. It's just a matter of building the campaign out right and then giving it all the assets it needs to do that work. So when we launch an account and scale it out, we usually see PMAX will drive about half of the success when it comes to e-com accounts. When it comes to lead gen, PMAX isn't going to have as heavy of influence when it comes to the overall scale of the account, but it still is important. So next is going to be actual PPC, or paid search. Google Ads is built fundamentally on paid search. It is the most powerful type of audience targeting because you get to go after the intent of what people are searching. And when you know exactly what someone's searching, there's no colorfulness on that variable. You know, black or white, you have the right type of person. Now it's just a matter of converting it. So on the PPC side, the other campaigns that we launch of those two is going to be one, cold PPC targeting, low hanging fruit type terms. So this is going to be longer tail terms that are going to be the highest likely to convert. Lower hanging fruit, you don't want to go broad. It's all about getting the ideal type of traffic and seeing how it converts, then building from there. And then the next is going to be branded. If you're in e-com specifically, it is important to protect your branded traffic. Of course, you have to pay for it, but the amount you would lose paying for it is not as much as the amount you lose from all the competitors stealing the traffic that see your Facebook ad, go to Google, and then see they might have a product similar too. So we always recommend protecting your traffic. Some people, find it a little bit debatable. We've always seen it outweigh the pros than the actual cons. So that's just how we do it, and that's what we recommend. The third is going to be how to actually scale campaigns. So scaling is a little bit different on Google too, because you can't just keep dumping money on a campaign. There's a very particular scale you're going after. On one side of the scale, it's going to be the amount of ROAS that's coming in, or the amount of cost per conversion that's happening for the campaign. Then the other side is going to be the actual budget. Anytime you raise the budget, that ROAS, or the cost per conversion, is going to move as well. If your ROAS is, let's say, 5x, and you give your campaign a new $100 per day, the 5x is going to come down. It's just a matter of how low you can go on the ROAS side is going to determine how much you can increase that daily spend. So you want to be very careful there, because anytime you increase budget, it's going to pull down that ROI. It's just a matter of how aggressive can you be until the ROI gets close enough to the point where you want to mellow out and let it persist until you can scale later when you work on assets and such. So like I mentioned, you can't just dump money on there, because there will be a consequence for spending more. You will see diminishing returns. You have to do it in bite-sized amounts. We generally will scale, let's say every few days, anywhere between 10 to 50%, depending on how good the ROI is for the campaign. In some cases, if it's the holidays or Black Friday and ROI is crazy high and you just need to dump money on the campaign, of course you can do more in those types of situations. But in most cases, you're going to want to do it in bite-sized amounts, and then after a few days, see how it stabilizes, see what the ROI is like then. And then if it is good, then you can do the next amount and keep going in kind of a staircase fashion. The next is going to be what we call horizontal scaling. At some point when you're targeting search campaigns, you will hit a finite amount of people searching a certain term. And when you exhaust that, there's nothing else you can do. There's only a certain amount of people searching those terms each month. So once you hit that wall, then you have to go to the next campaign, next type of targeting, and build that way instead of building all your budget into one campaign. If you have any questions about any of those 3 topics, make sure to drop a comment in the section below. I will reply to them personally. If you want more of these types of videos going over the best tips for Google Ads, make sure to like and subscribe. Or if you want bite-sized content that gives you the best tips that we use with our clients, make sure to follow us on Instagram or TikTok, where we post every single day.